Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein. And I want to ask you a question because this is just something that has always been on my mind. Have you ever been working on something and one of those two or somebody else releases something before you, or does it not work like that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, first of all, huge respect to the hard work of everyone else in this sector. Fabrizio Romano has led in transfer news and turning that into multi platform content. And he's quick and right. And everybody knows that this here we go, those three words, is construed by the entire industry as handshake, deal done. And that tells you how credible he is. And what makes him not just credible, but incredible is the sheer depth of reporting rather than a focus only on Premier League or another region. There's Tom Bogart, who I really respect, who I think is one of the best journalists in the business and the leading voice by a country mile for MLS. But over time, I would expect him to branch out even further because he's got that process. So if you're succeeding in MLS, it's very easy over time to translate that to a wider market. David Ornstein is exceptional as both a journalist and a human being. And I speak to David and I learn from David. And David is warm and free with his time and mentoring. And I think the difference with David is that he probably has a million stories that, for whatever reason, sourcing, dispute on both sides, waiting for the right time, he could run. I think if you said to David as a challenge, I want you to publish 100 stories in one day on The Athletic and on social media, I think he could do it with confidence. But there's a timing, and you have to be sensitive to that because sometimes you get information you know is accurate, but it's off record or it's disputed by the other side. And you have to bite your lip and say, I can't go with it now. Because if I do go with it now, then that source is going to feel betrayed or that source is going to be exposed, perhaps not publicly in terms of to fans, but maybe someone on the other side who's part of the deal will know it has to have come from that person because maybe they were the only other person in the room. So you're always sitting on stories, and it depends upon what kind of journalist you want to be. Do you want to release the blow by blow, which is more Fabrizio, and give every little update? Do you want to stick to done deals? But there's been loads and loads of times where I've had stuff. I'm sure it's the same for Tom, for David, for Fabrizio, for loads of other journalists. Nizar Kinsella is a top transfer reporter covering London teams and Chelsea in particular.